Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Nikki and Cut. Feels like it's been a minute since we've done one of these, even though it probably was only a couple weeks ago. But either way, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna do a full face of new makeup. So testing a lot of this new makeup. I have something that I know you guys are gonna be excited to see because I had so many requests to buy this and to try it out, to give it a review, to use it on my channel. So I'm gonna be using the Makeup by Mario, the new, and let me actually show you this beautiful PR package that I got. And I'm so grateful when I get something from Makeup by Mario because I would have bought it anyway. So thank you, Mario. And if you don't know, if you don't follow me like other platforms, I did get to meet Makeup by Mario, the legend himself, recently. And he was just so unbelievably kind. And when I tell you, he gave me like one of the most genuine hugs, like the kind of hug that I like to give people, you know, like if I hug you in person, or if I ever hug you, I will like put my whole body into it and like give you like the most genuine hug. So Makeup by Mario matched that for me, which actually threw me off. And I just felt very loved. So anyway, back to the PR box. This is the box that I got from Makeup by Mario. I don't normally talk about like a lot of the PR that I get. But in this case, it was so requested that I try this out and that I get this, that I wanted to show you guys how it looks when it came to me. So they did send a brown master mascara. Love Makeup by Mario. This is not my favorite formula, so I won't be using this. And I'll probably, in full honesty, I'll probably save all these. I won't touch them. I won't contaminate them because they're not in packaging. I'll probably use these for a giveaway because I plan on buying another one of these either online or I'll run in store to Sephora and pick this up soon. I plan on buying another one for one of you. Oops. So I can give it away on my channel. I'll probably give it away more than likely on one of my YouTube lives. That's when I do all my giveaways. That's when I just do that kind of stuff. So if you've missed my lives, I go live about 3 times on average a month. And I usually do a giveaway at every single live that I do. So I'll be doing this next time. So this is the palette. This is the Ethereal Eyes Nature palette. I have the one from last year too, which was called like Moonlight, and it was, I thought, really beautiful, a little more neutral. This is definitely leaning on like the warm tone side. So I'm going to put this away. I'm not going to use the mascara like I mentioned. I'm going to use a different mascara instead. Because, like I mentioned, I don't like that formula. Love Mario's, doesn't work for me. And I want to show you the pamphlet that this came with too. So beautiful, gorgeous models. Wow. Yo. Stunning models, stunning makeup. This is the palette swatched. And look how cute this little thing is. Like, this is the cutest touch ever. I thought this was a real Polaroid for a second, but it's not. It's just adorable. So, goodbye, Mario. I'm going to get back to you in a minute. They also sent me a refill of the powder that I love. I don't know if they were listening or if this just happened to reach me at the exact time that I ran out of my original one. My Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Soft Blur Setting Powder in Fair Pink. This is the fairest shade. However, it doesn't translate too fair on me, and I love it for under my eyes. It's phenomenal. I got another thing that I'm really excited to show you because this is another item that you've been highly requesting me to try. It's the Prism Libre Bronzing Powder from Givenchy. They sent me in PR the shade O2. Oh, okay, yeah. So it's just a pressed bronzer. I heard amazing things about this. I actually want to open this right now. And let's just start getting this started because I could ramble on forever. And before you know it, it's midnight and we haven't done any makeup. So let me just open this quick and show you what it looks like. So there's 4 quadrants of powder. You mix them together. Usually for a formulation like this, I like to use a brush like the 104 because that soft fiber and those longer bristles will pick up a perfect amount of all 4 of those colors. So we'll definitely be using that. And how gorgeous is just these 2 things alone? I feel very spoiled right now and I'm very grateful for it. I have a new primer from Fenty Beauty and let's just actually knock this out real quick. I put this on my face. It's the Fenty Beauty Grip Trip Mattifying Blurring Primer. Before I ruin this, look how cool that swirled little packaging is. That is really awesome. It's giving me, what's the product I used to use? I actually have it because I was going to feature in a video soon. Maybe I should show you it, but no, it's going to take too long. It reminds me of the Stila, whatever it was called. Hold please, I have it right here. I bought this for a video. I'm going to use it pretty soon. But it's the Stila One Step Correct. I just have to show you what I'm talking about because it will drive me nuts. So it's giving me this vibe, right? Do you remember this? Old school, but I used to swear by that product, which is, not to give it away, but one of the videos I'm planning on doing. All right, so this primer, let's get this all over. I'm not usually a primer girly over here, but I do want to use some new stuff. And when a primer shows up in my hands, I'm going to use it. I just don't necessarily buy them unless I'm buying for my kit. So this is the mattifying one, and it did feel quite thick. And I'm wondering if it's going to pill on top of my Paula's Choice. We'll find out. All right, maybe not. I won't rub too much. Let's let that dry down. I got that pretty much in the T-zone and on the cheeks. Get a little more above my lip. I get really oily above my lip. Do you guys get oily above your lip? Comment below where you get oily because I'm so curious, because I feel like it is different for a lot of people. There, of course, is the T-zone, but I do have people that reach out to me that tell me that their entire face up to their hairline is oily, so that's why I'm curious and asking. I want to jump into foundation kind of right away and just knock out that step. And I know I want to use the Makeup by Mario. This and the Sephora collection and the Natasha Denona are just on my 3 rotating foundations that I'm currently loving. But this one, my God, it's so good, and I just don't need more foundation. I low-key was, you know, kind of hoping I wasn't going to be so in love with it, because now I have 3 foundations, which is not a bad problem, but I have 3 foundations to essentially get through so they don't expire and go bad. So very dirty N17 brush. Gonna buff into the shade 8N and work this right on top of my face. For lip prep, I put this on really quick. It's my Revie Beauty Silk Lip Balm. So nice. It's not plumping, anything like that. It's just like more like an HA, like hyaluronic acid, hydrating lip balm. So let's get this all over. And I think I need to work faster than I normally would with this foundation, because I did put that Fenty mattifying primer, and it's looking like that dried down actually really quick. So I don't know. Well, not something I'd probably put with this foundation going forward. I think next time I'll probably use that with the Natasha Denona, because this is stopping the foundation from Makeup by Mario to be like as flexible. So it's kind of stopping it in its tracks, which good if you're really, really oily, and I am really oily, but I'm not loving how it's making this foundation more difficult to apply, if that makes sense. So I'm going to work a little quicker than I typically have to buff this out. To start this video, and just in, you know, to be considerate of timing, because this video is uncut, and if you're new here, my videos that get uploaded on a Tuesday versus a Saturday are uncut. So mistakes are in, the entire blending process, everything is left in. So if you like lengthy videos, if you like a lot of company while you're cleaning, cooking, caring for your children, whatever you're doing, this is a video for you. But just know it's a long process. So in the spirit of saving some time, I did do my brows off camera, and I did prime my eyelids with some concealer. However, I see that they've creased. So I'll show you what I'm going to do to fix that before we get into eyeshadow. Skin is looking good now. I definitely had to put more oomph and elbow grease into blending this out because of that primer. So I'm actually more anxious to try that now with the Natasha Denona, like I said, and also maybe like my skin tints that are more glowy. All right, so 8N looks good. It looks a little light, but we will warm this up, don't you worry, and we'll be warming it up with the Givenchy. So Makeup by Mario, I'm gonna put you down for a minute. I have quite a few new blushes today, and I wish you could vote off or on camera right now which one you want me to use, because I have quite a few. I have 2 new ones from, I think they're new, from Patrick Ta. I have the shade She's Blushing and She's That Girl. I'm tempted to use She's Blushing for this makeup look because I think it's gonna go really well with that eyeshadow palette. But I also have some creams from makeupbyauty. They used to only have gel blushes, and gels don't suit my skin type, so I'm really, really excited that they have cream, like a cream formulation now. And the 2 that I picked out that I think will go well with this Makeup by Mario palette is Hyper Nude and Major Mauve. So either one of these, and again, I wish you could vote and just tell me ahead of time, but either of these will look really good with that eyeshadow palette. Leaning more towards this and making it all about the eyes and not so much the blush. And then I was thinking about topping it. Stay with me. I got a new shade in the Ilia Soft Focus Blurring Blush. I got the shade Flutter, which is a really soft tone blush. And I think that these will go really well together. So I think I'm leaning towards that, but we will get there. Don't you worry. Let's finish off these eyes just a bit for a second before we move on, or finish off the base, excuse me, before we move on to the eyes. And I need to do some color correcting so bad. So I'm going to let this sit and self-set for a minute. This is the Caliray Hideaway Brightening Correcting Concealer. I love this stuff. Everything will be linked below that I'm using, so don't you worry. So now let's get these eyes actually prepped and primed and ready for the Makeup by Mario eyeshadow palette. Gonna grab an N16 brush, and I just use the tip of the brush to sweep out and to blend out those creases that you could see. So once that's done, we're gonna use just a nice bright light eyeshadow primer just to blank out my eyes even more, create a nice like blank canvas for the eyeshadow palette. I have an idea of what I want to do for the eye makeup look, but just an idea. I do know I want to use that green to some extent because it's just so eye-catching. And I know you're probably seeing a lot of eye looks with this palette using the green, but I want my chance to use it too. So I think I'm going to probably use that, but we'll see where the wind blows us. I'm going to tap this in with my N16. Just like that. Bring it all the way. Why am I pointing? I just did something that my mom does all the time and I call her out for it. She'll walk around pointing, like her fingers out. Like she's just constantly pointing. And I'm like, Mommy, what are you pointing at? She's like, I don't know. Give me a break, you know? All you do is make fun of me. That's not how my mom talks, but I'm just being dramatic. All right, so tap this all over. And then what I want to do is probably use a thin veil of one of the lighter colors in the palette to kind of lock it in. So for that, I'm going to grab my N20S brush and let's dip into this color right here. First color of the palette. I hate to see a new palette get dirty and dusty, but I'm so excited to try this. All right, so it's like a nice soft beige. Just to go all over. So the idea is I just want to dry this area down and mattify it so it's nice and smooth, so we can then build some colors on top. Before we get too far in, now I'm going to tap in that color corrector from Caliray. Just like that. We will save the actual concealer till after the eye makeup is fully on, and we'll save the rest of the base products until after that as well. So just kind of getting a good blank canvas going, essentially. Okay. For this makeup look, why don't we start with the same N20. I'm going to do a little dry cleaning action like Lisa J says, and just kind of wipe this back and forth in a clean towel. So now that is dry clean, and I just love that term. Let's dive into the next shade, which I think is very obvious, but I'm going to just go for this nice soft mid-tone brown. Just do a generous sweep all over. And you'll see how easy this is going to blend on. Now that we've created that soft, more matte base, and this is always what I suggest you do too, if your eyeshadow is not looking the way you want it to look, if it's looking patchy, if it's not blending smoothly, this is something you should definitely take the time to do because it's worth it. Moving on to my hooded eye now. And I know you guys can't hear the leaf blowers based on what you tell me in the comments, but my gosh, I tell you, it's so loud from where I'm sitting right now. It's just, leaf blowers are sent from hell. All right. I'm going to try not to focus on any negative things today. Little side story too, like speaking of negative things. Over the weekend, I got a tremendous amount of really nasty hate comments. Like, like the kind that like just hit like, ooh, like one of them just, I read one of them when I was like, when Barry was sick, and it just hurt. I'm not gonna lie, it hurt. And I hope the person that sent me that message, or that actually wrote that comment, I should say, it wasn't a message, it was a comment. I hope they don't see this video because I don't want them to know they got me, but this comment was like, it just sucked it to me. It really did. Yeah, so anyway, I got like a string of not so great comments over the weekend. And one of the reasons why I know I got some pretty bad comments was because one of my videos on YouTube and also on another platform, it went viral basically. And anytime, you know, a video goes viral, and if you don't know this, I'm just going to give you some little backstory while I blend on some more eyeshadow. I'm going to use my N13, and let's dip into, I want to dip into this one. Let's dip into this more slightly deeper mid-tone brown. Okay, so as I was saying, you know, if you go viral and one of your videos like takes off and it gets pushed to all these different algorithms and all these different people's feeds, whether they want it or not, like sometimes it gets fed to people that don't even consume beauty content, which I have I have nothing to do with that, basically. Obviously, it goes without saying, but you know, it's completely out of my control who these platforms push my content to, essentially. But when a video goes viral, to make a long story short, it gets pushed to a ton of people, and some people don't like that. So I got some nasty mean comments on one of a video that went viral. And, you know, normally I could just shrug it off and be like, it's, you know, it is what it is. Like, I'm not even gonna waste my time with this. But the part that got me was one of the parts of the insult. It was a big insult wrapped up in a comment. And one of the parts that got me was they were like, your hands are gross. I read that and I had a physical like, yo, that actually took me back a minute. Like, that took me physically, I had a physical reaction, basically. It sucked reading it, okay? And here's why. There's always gonna be someone that picks up on one of your insecurities. So this person obviously had no idea, but they were clearly trying to get my goat, essentially. And boy, my goat was gotten with this comment, because if there's one thing amongst many that I definitely am insecure about, it's for sure my hands. Like, my hands are just not cute. I don't have cute feet. I don't have cute, like, little cutesy feet. I have really ugly, like, flat, like, rat feet. And then I also don't have, like, the cutest hands. And listen, can't do anything about it. Can't get hand surgery. Can't transplant my feet. It just is what it is. So when this person commented about my hands, I was like, oh, sent me. It just sent me. So, you know, listen, here are my hands. Are they the most aesthetically pleasing? No. They've also worked really hard. And I love my little hands, but they are ugly. Like, I'll be the first one to tell you that. So, it just really got my goat. So moving on from that and moving on from all negativity, I'm going to like leave it out the front door. I'm not going to talk about it again, but I just had to air it and vent, because it's like when you have a bad dream or when you get some news, you don't want to be the only one that knows this news, or like, you know, see something bad on the side of the road. You need to like share it. I basically needed to share this bad comment with you all because I need to feel less alone with it. Does that make sense? Anyway, I'm rambling because I've had probably way too much of this Alani Witch's Brew. I'm going to go into this shade now with the N20 and start to connect the crease and just really warm up the crease. The eye makeup that I have in mind is just big, blown out, softly smoky eyes. And I'm going to try to use, within reason, as many of these shadows as I can for this eye makeup look. So that way you can see like a really good idea of what this palette's capable of. And I think right now we're at a good stopping point with the crease colors. And now I want to dive into two things. I'm going to gently buff off the excess product on the N13. And I actually want to use some of this beautiful, shimmery, kind of like a cranberry color. Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to dip into that. And this is shimmery, but I really want to do a bit of this in the outer corner and just start to play with a different look than you typically see me do. I want to really use a lot of these shadows, and I want to mix this with the green, and I'll show you what I plan on doing as I build it. So focusing right now on building another sense of depth and texture in this very outer corner. But back to the insult. Have you ever been called out, or has someone ever tried to like hurt your feelings and they use like your biggest insecurity against you? You know, comment below, and if you need a vent and if you want to let it out so it's not just stuck in your head, you want to like air it out so we can all commiserate with you, please do it in the comments. I think it's a good therapeutic thing to do. You know, instead of like stewing over these things, like you should like let it out, you know? I don't know. That if there's anything some levels of therapy has taught me, it's pretty much that. Okay, I think this is looking really pretty, but I do need to add more in my hooded eye here. So again, uncut, whole process. If you get bored of this part, totally understand. You can fast forward to when I'm getting to like the eyeliner, and I will not hold against you, I promise. All right, let's now swipe on with my N24. I think I want to wet this. So what I'm going to do is, I need something more wet. So hold on. Let's grab the OG of OGs. I'm going to now swipe into this gorgeous green. So this one right here, the most like eye-popping, catching one. And I want to just pick up a bunch on the N24. So I'm going to swipe into a pretty decent amount like that. And then for the sake of making it more metallic, I'm going to spray it with Charlotte Tilbury, the original one, not the matte one. And let's apply this down the center only. Ooh, that's pretty. That is really, really pretty. I do feel like Makeup by Mario has such a good eye for creating eyeshadow palettes that are so usable, user-friendly. At least to me, I think they're all very, like the way they're laid out is very universally like user-friendly. Getting tongue-tied. So bad. But anyway, I think this palette is no exception. I think all the colors make so much sense. I do kind of wish there was a few like slightly deeper shades, but now that I'm seeing it on my eyes, maybe I take that back. That was more my initial thought when I saw the swatches of this palette. Okay, so just working this onto the center. So pretty. Gonna now move on to the other eye. Wet it. And this eye is hooded, so I'm gonna have to go further up to make them match. Basically acting like I don't have a hood right here and going right on top of that fold. Just like that. Ooh, this is pretty. I'm trying to decide if I want to do like a black liner to go with this or if I should keep it brown. I think I should keep it brown. Very nice. Now I do have a drugstore, what kind of drugstore? I got off of Amazon. Mascara that I was influenced to buy a while ago from an old video that popped up of Alex Anelli, and she was using that mascara and loved it. So I finally purchased it, and I realized I'm probably missing out on something that's like, at this point, a cult classic because it's been around for a hot minute. I've been meaning to try it for a while. And without further ado, it's the Kill Lash Superproof Mascara from Clio. So we'll be trying this today. All right, looking good. Now I'm going to go back to the N13, back to that cranberry shimmery shade. And then what I want to do is create basically a halo effect So the green will be in the center, the cranberry will be on either end, kind of sandwiching it together. Oh yeah, that's pretty. These are blending really nice. And I have to say, I think I could be just not far into this palette enough, but I do think that this palette has less fallout than the original Ethereal Eyes, because I'm not seeing a ton of it falling out. So I mean, I do have some in my lower lash line, but we'll be able to clean it up. Okay. A little more. All right. Now I think let's use the N22 and let's dip into this beautiful shade right here. This reminds me so much of Naked Pigment from MAC Cosmetics, and I would bet you money that this was benchmarked off of that. Totally speculating, I don't know for sure, but I would bet you money because this looks just like Naked Pigment. And Naked Pigment, if you know, you know. And tell me if you know that color I'm talking about in the comments, because it is one of the most beautiful brow bone colors or all over light satiny colors you could ever use. It's so stunning. But this looks just like it, but in a pressed version. Okay. That looks good. Let's grab an eyeliner, and I think let's go classic, or do we do super black? Let's do a combination. Okay, so Makeup by Mario, super black. I want to do a little tight lining with this one. So just running this on the top lash line. Oof. When you're tightlining, don't stop breathing. As soon as you stop breathing like I just did, your eyes are going to water. Try to breathe through your nose always, not through your mouth like I was just doing. So basically, do as I say, not as I'm doing it, because I just did everything wrong. Okay, let's take a little bit of this. I'm kind of feeling the black. So let's take this as well and start in the outer corner. I think what we'll do is add this as the first like base layer. And then we'll blend some eyeshadows on top, like that deep brown from the palette. So let me just grab the N21. Try not to look at my ugly hands while I do this. And then a little bit. Okay, we're getting there. Building an eye makeup look, you'll see, and if you've never watched one of my uncuts where I'm doing an actual makeup look, you know, you just get to really see the reality of makeup looks, right? Like makeup looks like this, and you get to see the reality of like how long it actually takes and how much back and forth movement there is. And I think it's a good representation too of like, you know, how long it actually takes to do a makeup look like this versus what you see on, you know, like other platforms where it's like a 30-second video, basically. Okay, back to the N21. We're gonna just blend this out. And then go back to the palette. And I'm actually gonna grab the N11 brush and we're gonna dip into the deepest brown in the palette. So this deep brown right here in the inner or outer corner, excuse me. Tap off the excess and let's just stamp this right on top. We're gonna clean it up, don't worry. We're gonna get there. Right now it's just all about kind of layering this on top, locking in that black eyeliner so it doesn't run. and also softening it at the same time because we're putting that dark brown on top of the black, but the effect is just dimension. Okay, so I'm going to also connect this across the lash line a bit as well. So, oh yeah, I definitely have some fallout. Okay, so we may need to clean that up a bit, which means we might need to take the color corrector off and start fresh, which is not that big of a deal. I'll show you how to do it. It's not the end of the world. It's just makeup. Everything within reason is fixable. So just doing the same thing, stamping on that dark brown. I love eye makeup looks like this. Gonna go across. All right, my friends. We're gonna have to do some heavy duty cleanup, okay? It just is what it is. And it's totally, totally fine. But actually what we'll do, yeah, let's clean this up first because I have a lot of fallouts. It's okay. We'll fix it. We'll redo it. It's not a big deal. So I'm gonna wrap that makeup wipe around my fingertip and use it to clean up that wing liner. Same thing, wrapped it around. You can of course use a pointed Q-tip like you see me do all the time. I just felt like I needed a makeup wipe because of the amount of fallout that I had. Okay, not bad. It's actually looking really good. Okay, so one little dab of the Makeup by Mario foundation one more time. Let's just get this cheek situation fixed before we move on. Just like that. But I am loving this eye makeup look. I know it took a minute, but good things take time. Just gonna go back to the N13 one last time, seeing some areas I need to blend out a bit more. There we go. Okay, mascara time. Long awaited, long overdue. Finally gonna jump on this and see what the hype was about. So this is the Kill Lash from Clio. Not new, but just new to me, and I'm very excited to try this. This is a really small brush. Holy smokes. Really small brush. We're gonna get in there. And this is supposed to be a really good lifting mascara. So for more straight, downturned lashes, this is supposed to be a really good formulation for that, to lift them. I don't have the most straight lashes, but I also don't really have like the most curly lashes, like somewhere right in between. It's looking good. I have a lot of eye makeup on, so the mascara is going to get a little lost in the shuffle here. So you'll see me for sure use this in other videos where I'm wearing more minimal eye makeup, and you'll really be able to tell what its capabilities are going forward. But I can tell you, it looks good. I'm not that blown away, but it looks good. I didn't think I'd like this tiny little wand, but I actually really like this. So just blinking on, trying to wiggle this into my lashes. All right, again, for the sake of this video, I think we'll move on. I do like this. Can't wait to try this more, play with it more. I mean, it looks really pretty on my monitor, I'm not gonna lie. That does look really pretty. I'm going to blot off this lip balm because I want to get this contour going. And for that, I'll be using a little bit of the Mary Phillips MPH underpainting palette. I'm gonna grab my N22 brush, which is definitely my preferred brush for this technique. So I'm gonna dip into this deeper shade right here and start to trace on the bottom lip to give it more oomph, and on the top lip. There we go. Doing this technique just really brings my lips to life. Like, I have full lips, they're incredibly unsymmetrical. So this does help as well to just make them look a bit more symmetrical. And also my lip line is just very non-existent. Like the pigment of it. So doing this is just such a confidence booster for me every single time. All right, I see the hair on my cheek. Let's get that bad boy off. Let's put that down for now. I think I want to just use the Givenchy powder bronzer all on its own because I want to just see what it's going to do, basically. So now that we've got that on, let's do a tiny bit of color correcting once again, since we removed it. Back to the Cali Ray. I'm going to knock this out quick. That way you're not left seeing the same thing over and over again. I'm going to grab the N19 brush, tap this in. I'm leaning towards putting some lashes on, but what do you guys think? Can I do it? Is that okay? I feel like I just need something, a little like extra something. Let's do some under blushing. And I should not do what I tell you not to do. Let me actually pre-warm this up and see what it's gonna look like. So this is the new Make cream blushes. They're the Cream Stroke in Hyper Nude is the one I'm gonna use. So Hyper Nude. Let's apply this with the bkbeauty 109, a staple, a classic. I'm going to pre-blend this onto the brush and then pre-blend this, or just tap it on now that we've pre-blended. I'm going to use this to partially color correct a bit more on this other half of my under eye. This is a pretty color. Wow. Definitely a nice cream formula too. That's pretty. It's not lifting my foundation. It's actually looking really soft. Kind of reminds me color-wise of, there's one from Westman Atelier. It's not New. Is it Doo-Doo? The names are so funny. I think it's Doo-Doo. I'm pretty sure it's Doo-Doo. And it's reminding me a little bit of the Westman Atelier formula, to be quite honest, too. This is nice. This is really nice. I feel like Make definitely needed this in their catalog because not everyone likes a gel dewy blush. Like, I love a cream. Creams are easy to work with for oily skin, but gels are not an oily girl's best friend sometimes. All right, and I'm feeling really pretty with this. Much prettier than when I started with my ugly hands. I'm gonna let it go. I swear to you, one of these days I will let it go. I just have to laugh about it. Okay, so powder-wise. Do we open up this fresh Makeup by Mario? I think we do. I should have opened this off camera to save some time, but I didn't. So here we are. Let's grab my tweezers and pull this off. If you ever have a hard time getting these off, just grab your tweezers and thank me later. Gonna pour some of this into the cap. Gonna grab, oh, you know what? I didn't even do my under eyes, so just kidding. Let's go into concealer, and I've been testing and really enjoying this now that I have a more brightening shade. And I didn't think I was gonna love this one because I tried this quite a bit ago and I had a shade that was just so far off that I couldn't really use it. And I think that it might have spoiled my first impression of this one. It's very, very hydrating, very thin. Really good if you have deeply dehydrated under eyes. I don't necessarily. I have more oily skin, but my under eyes are definitely, you know, they're 39 years old, going on 40. They're definitely weathered. And my under eyes are really liking this concealer. So I've been really enjoying it as of lately. So it's the MAC Studio Radiance 24-Hour Luminous Lift Concealer. The shade that I have now is NW11. And these run so much deeper than the original, like, shades that you're used to with MAC Cosmetics. So just keep that in mind if you're going to pick one up. Let's say you were an NW25, let's just say, in Pro Longwear concealer or Studio Finish concealer, you'd probably be like at least 3 shades lighter to even it out, if that makes sense. Sometimes I have a hard time articulating things. I'm going to use the N20S, a different one that does have the eyeshadow on it, to blend out the highlight that I just placed in between my brows. Just doing like some soft circular motions. And then I love this brush especially to blend out and to lift this outer part of my under eyes. So it softens the edges, kind of melts into the skin really easily. And this brush is great for applying concealer into the eyes if you don't want a lot of coverage. And if you want a really thin, natural veil of it, like let's say you have like, I talked to a lot of you, you have like more mature, dry under eyes and you're really prone to creasing. You could still wear powder, you could still wear concealer, you could still wear all those things. Don't let anyone tell you you can't. But different techniques are going to be very helpful. And I think this brush is really going to be good for just giving you a nice light wash of coverage that's not too heavy under your eyes. So if you're really prone to concealer or creasing, use a small circular motion, like kind of buff it in, blend it out softly, don't blend it off, and you'll get a really nice finish. So I'm going to use this and just continue this concealer blending. Normally for me, I would just grab my N19 and tap it in and call it a day, but let me just continue to use this so you can see the full potential. So sweeping this out of my creases, blend this into the blush with whatever's left over, just kind of brightening this area of my face. And you can still use this to tap on. And then once you've tapped on, you can use the long bristles to blend out. And this is a technique too that you can use with any blending eyeshadow brush. So if you have the N13, you can use that brush for that technique as well. If you have any of the bkbeauty eyeshadow blending brushes, you can use this exact technique with any of those as well. But if you happen to get this one, try it with this technique and you'll have a really soft under eye. All right, my under eyes feel so nice, so much better. Now we can set them into place. Gonna grab now the N19. This is my preferred brush at the moment. Between this one, of course, my N14, which is a staple in my life. And I got this question recently a lot, so I thought I would kind of address that. I got a question recently saying, or many of these saying, that I never use my old brushes anymore. I do every day. I will use them for the rest of my life. Literally, as long as I can do my makeup, I will be using them. But the reality is you're seeing a lot of videos of me using the newer brushes because I can use them now that they're finally out. I know they're sold out right now currently, but they're almost back in stock. And there's something that I've been, essentially dying to share and to use on camera and not hide from y'all for so long, for like a year and a half. So you're seeing me use them a lot because I'm just excited, That's all. That's my backstory. Just because I've been getting that question a lot. So just using the Makeup by Mario Fair Pink to set the under eyes, to lock this in. I do think this is such a universally flattering powder. It works for my oily skin. It works incredibly well if you have dry under eyes. And it's just a really finely milled powder that feels like weightless. But it has a good amount of oomph to it where it's going to act almost like a filler. It's going to soften the appearance of texture, fine lines, things like that. So overall, really fantastic powder. Happy that they sent me a new one. I'm very grateful. I'm going to take a bit more and lightly powder my lip. Okay, just like that. So now that our T-zone is set, let's dive into another new product that we haven't tried yet and something that you've been asking me to try for a while now, the Givenchy Prism Libre Bronzing Powder. And I do have a bit of product on this 104. I'm just going to do a little quick dry cleaning of the brush. Get some of that excess bronzer off of this. I know I have the Armani Luminous Bronzer on this brush, but I got a good amount of it off. So I'm just going to tap into the whole thing. And you can rotate the brush around a little bit. Make sure you're getting like an even coating of all the colors. Oh, God, that smells good. Whew. All right. Now I don't have cream contour or cream bronzer, so we're just going to use this today. And we may or may not need to build it up, depending on like how this looks on its own. To build it up, I'll probably grab the N18. But for now, let's see what a nice light wash of this looks like, since I'm really not familiar with this product at all. And I don't want to mess this up. Wow, that looks pretty. You see it has like a bit of a sheen to it. Huh, that's pretty. Oh yeah, there is a shimmery color in this one too. This one right here is actually like a soft shimmer. So it's definitely not a flat bronzer. So if you want something with like some dimension, this is nice. Wow. Oh my God, I did not need to have to recommend another bronzer for you guys. I feel bad at this point between foundations and all the lip liners and lip products I love and now bronzers. But I'm not gonna lie, I gotta warn you ahead of time. If you're gonna watch my content continuously, you're gonna see this bronzer now as part of my rotation with the Dior and the Armani and the Hung Van Gogh. This is stunning. Whoa. Yo. Wow. What? I mean, that's so pretty. I've never felt so pretty. Like, that is a really pretty bronzer. I'm just gonna throw the rest of this onto my nose. Not contouring, just warming it up. Wow. My friend Nicole on Instagram loves this bronzer, so I should have known that I would like it and I should buy it, because even though I didn't buy it, but I should have bought it. She's like a bronzer connoisseur, and she always has good recommendations for bronzer. She also loves the same bronzers that I do. I don't think she's tried Hung Van Gogh yet, but I should tell her that she's missing out on that one. But she wears this one, I think, in like every single video she posts. She's gorgeous, so that also, you know, will sell me anything. But wow. I think she posted a video recently where she was like drenching my face in the Givenchy Prism Leap bronzer. And it got me even more excited to try this. So, that's stunning. All right, I'm just kind of going to town now at this point and not even thinking about it. I'm just properly like blasting my face with this. Gonna grab another N20 brush. Please forgive me. I have three, and I plan on using all three in this tutorial. I'm gonna swipe into all of these shades, tap off the excess, and just connect this to the top of the bridge of my nose. So right here into the brows. This will give me a good connection to my eyeshadow, so it's not like floating eyes, nose, you know, it just melts everything together. So this is stunning. Wow. It does have a very strong scent to it, so maybe that'll help you eliminate whether you need it or not. I'm just saying, you know, if you're looking for a reason not to buy this bronzer and it is pricey, maybe that could be it. Gonna grab the N22 once again. I'm gonna swipe into just this more cool tone deep shade, and let's see if we can also use this to contour the lips, because I think this might be outstanding here. Yep. I mean, I dig it. Yeah, it's quite pretty. Quite pretty. All right, we're nearing the end of this tutorial, I promise. We need to put some extra bronzer on, or blush, excuse me, because I want to set the Make Cream blush and intensify it a little bit because it is a very light color. So we'll use the Ilia Flutter and the N20 brush, the full size. I really like this formula. I know a lot of people are like, it's pointless, it's underwhelming, it's this or that. I think it's just a nice simple blush, and I really like the shades that they launched in this powder formula. I think they're really just wearable, really pretty, soft. This is a great soft shade. So see how it's not taken away from my more dramatic eyes? It's like a perfect balancing, supporting act in this movie. I'm gonna bring some of this into the temple to fill it. This is one of my favorite techniques. And if you start seeing it other places, just know where it came from originally, because this is like, I don't see anyone ever do this technique. This is something that I talk about and do all the time. But taking a little bit of your blush If you have hollow temples, you just pop it right here in the temple, and it's going to act the same way that a color corrector would under the eyes. So it's going to push that hollowness just up a bit. You know, it's going to act literally like a filler. Let's try to disguise that big old vein in my head. This is pretty. With whatever's left over, little sweep across the nose. And I think I want to do just a little bit of Makeup by Mario on the bottom lash line, but not super intense to the point where it looks like overly done down there, because I'm liking how soft the bottom lash line is, but I'm going to do a little bit of shading with the N12. I think we'll just dip into this first shade and see how much depth this will give us, and then we may stop it there. So it's that first crease color that we used after that light one, of course, that we used to set. Okay, yeah. That's probably perfect. I don't think I need to go any deeper than that. I'm happy with my decision to put that black in the tight line and the bottom and top because, well, I initially put in the top and then it's transferred to the bottom, but I think it's given it a really pretty sultry look. Okay, a little bit more on this side. And then I think, you know, we're nearing the finish line, if you can believe it. I know I've kept you here for a while, but I hope you've had fun. I've had a great time doing this makeup look. I love the blush. The bronzer really has knocked me off my feet. I know it's a dramatic thing to say, but it really has knocked me off my feet. Let's pop some lashes on really quick while I continue to talk to you. And for the lashes, I'm going to use this, but where's my glue? So these are the Ardell Half Naked. Here's my glue. And these are a favorite of mine. I just restocked these recently on Amazon. I do believe that Ulta has these at some locations, I'm sure. They're just never at my location. So I'm going to take the Ardell Stronghold glue. Let me show you these up close really quick before I pop them on. So they're a half lash, but on me, if you have smaller eyes like I do, these will end up giving you almost the look of a full lash. So let me show you exactly what I mean. So $4.21, I'll link these so you can check them out if you want to. They're very affordable. And honestly, if you peel these off gently, you can get at least 2 to 3, maybe even 4 uses out of them before you have to toss them. So just keep that in mind with lashes. You don't have to take them off, you know, super rough. Just take them off gently. Clean off the glue, like by peeling it off. Peel off that old glue, that old adhesive. Put them back in the box so they don't get dusty and crusty and gross. And you could definitely use them again. So just up in a note, you know. I know they're disposable, but try to get more money, more of your money's worth out of it. All right, so I just coated the band like that. Gonna blow on them, go above my lash line, plop them down. Once they're down, I'll wiggle them. I'll make sure they're secured on each end. And as they're drying, I like to kind of wiggle them up. Oh yeah, this was definitely the move. You know, this kind of eye makeup look with such a pretty amount of like the tones, it was screaming for some false lashes. So I'm super happy I popped these on. Again, I'll link them. They're so easy to use and so great for like an evening out, to bump up your daytime makeup look for an evening dinner, or like something like a social obligation. These are really, really the move. And now I love my 420s from Ardell, but I usually cut those in half to get this kind of effect. But these are like the 420 cut in half, but with more length at the end. So it gives you a bit more like a cat eye effect. Isn't that pretty? See how easy that was? Like, no big deal. Just gonna wiggle these a bit more. Make sure they're drying up and not down. Just like that. This drives my clients crazy when I do this. I know it. Because like they'll be on their phone. So it's like the perfect angle, right? So when they're on their phone, I'm like, oh, bloop. And I kind of like pop my finger here and they're like trying to look up at me like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's none of your business. Just keep looking down. Because this helps them to dry up and not down. Like that. Okay. We have a few more things. I swear, we're almost done. I've lost my train of thought. I do want to do a make lip liner, I think, or do I want to do this? I need your help. I think this looks really pretty. So Vive, oh yeah, we're doing this. Vive sent me a few new things, some eyeshadow sticks and new colors. I'll definitely use them in a future video. And they sent me the new lip dews in Supermodel and Socialite. And Socialite is calling our name right now. So let's pop this on. And I think I want to put this on actually just with a bit of chisel from KJH brand. Trust the process. It is a process. Let's blend this out. Or do I want to do etch? Let's try a little bit of etch instead. Etch will go a little bit more naturally. Yeah, let's do etch. All right, lots of lip contouring in this video, I know. But on these uncut days where we're testing new makeup, I don't really have a planned look ahead. And I don't have like, you know, it's more so like about having fun, playing with new products, seeing what their capabilities are, seeing what looks good and what doesn't. Oh yeah, that was the move. So etch, I will definitely link. And then we're going to put Socialite Lip Dew on top. Oh, it smells good. Oh, it's like sweet. Oh, not bad sweet, like gourmand sweet. Oh, yeah. This was it. This was sent in perfect timing for this video. Oh, yeah. That's quite pretty. Okay. Well, this is the look, my friends. I think what we're going to do is one more product. Let's set the makeup into place. I can't stop using the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin. Give it a good shake, so hold please. Do a test spray. Oh, yeah, that was cold. Okay. Hopefully that gets some of my flyaways too. This is a makeup look. I'm very dewy right now because of the setting spray, but let's talk about the eye makeup. I'm loving the eye makeup. I think it came out so good. So pretty. So the Nature palette from Make by Mario, you know, do we need another eyeshadow palette? Probably not, but if you're a collector like me, you'll definitely enjoy this. And if you like neutrals that are like, you know, have like some warmth to them, and this fun green is absolutely gorgeous. But if you like this kind of, these tones, these more muted tones, I think you'll really like this palette and get some use out of it. I thought the formulation was really, really nice. Right in there, right in line with the other ones. A little less fallout, I noticed, with this palette than the original one, the Etherealeyes original. But either way, really pretty palette. I think that they did a great job of like the color combination. I think it's really soft and really wearable. So nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with a little slightly boring to some people, I'm sure, but like not to me. I love a wearable eyeshadow palette, and this is definitely giving that. My hoops are now filthy with makeup, but this is the makeup look. I think the showstopper was definitely the Make by Mario palette, and 100% this is incredible. I also love the Make blush that I put on. I'll make sure I link this. I love the lip combo I have on my lips right now. You'll see me use this for sure. I think it's really pretty, and the whole thing is working really well. And the makeup look is very cohesive. Nothing's fighting the eyes, which is the whole point. So I think that's it. That's all I want to touch on. The Ilia blush is pretty on top of the make as well. I think that was a good move. I'm just going to mattify this area one last time. And this is it, my friends. I hope you enjoyed seeing this makeup look. I hope you liked seeing the Makeup by Mario palette in action, seeing it uncut and with nothing cut out at all. If you did, leave me a comment below. Let me know your thoughts either way. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and for hanging out with me. One quick thing I want to call out very, very fast is I do have a official new Facebook account. And the reason why I started this Facebook account is because if you've ever reached out and want to watch my long form videos like the one you're watching right now on another platform, I do know a lot of you prefer FB, Facebook, over other platforms. So you can now watch and enjoy all my videos on that platform as well. So I'll leave a link to that account so you can check it out in the description box below, as well as everything else I used on my face. I hope you're having a really great October if you're watching this in real time, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye, you guys.